I was wondering, did you keep track of the size of the families in your surveys? Like, was there any correlation between the happiness and the size of the family? Because I have 8 siblings, and that plays a big part in. Yeah.
So probably about 20 minutes ago, ABC News just profiled a family with 5 kids in Virginia as part of their segment on this report today.
And talk to Brad as well.
And talk to me. But one of the things that we found that was surprising is that we thought, given the fact that generally speaking, kids are linked to declines in marital happiness, that the more kids that you have,
the more unhappy.
The more unhappy.
So your parents were miserable.
That's right.
Miserable.
And when we first ran the models, we just did a linear model where you're assuming that basically X is linked to Y in a linear fashion, and there's a negative relationship. But we came back to the model a little bit later, and we thought, well, maybe it's the case too that the experience of parenthood is different for parents with large families. So we looked at parents of 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, and 4 or more children. And basically what we find is there's kind of a curvilinear relationship between marital happiness. So the happiest married couples today in America are childless, for folks who are 18 to 46, are childless couples with no kids, and couples with 4 or more children. And that latter finding was really surprising, given the research.
So you need to be in or out.
Yeah. None of this 1, 2, I had my child, you know.
But I think actually, David, you're really getting onto something. I mean, I think part of the story about the 4 or more couples is that they really are living lives that are fundamentally different from the way they would have been when they were just a childless married couple. I think for some...
Are the 4 or more as happy as the childless?
They are, yeah.
Wow.
But, so I think for them, I think they've kind of make a big transition from kind of living a more kind of couple-centered, adult-centered way of life to a more family-centered, child-centered way of life. But the other big piece there, and this is what comes out I think very clearly in data, is that the couples who have 4 or more kids are about twice as religious as the couples with 1, 2, or 3 kids. They tend to have also greater sense of meaning in life and more support for, I think, their families
you
from their friends.
You can't necessarily attribute it to the children, you're attributing it to...
They're just different in some important respects, yeah. But I think partly maybe too that just once you have that many kids, your life changes in very important ways, and you may derive meaning and satisfaction and happiness from different things than you did when you had 0 kids or 1 or 2 kids.
I think another portion of that comes from, like you were talking about the importance of support and community. And when you have a family that big, you're able to have support and community actually within the actual family itself. Yes, amen. So like when like my siblings and stuff are getting older and things like that, the older ones are able to take care of the younger ones and things like that. So I think just that added support would also add to the happiness.
But I think also a large family only works in this day and age when you have that support from extended family and from some kind of community context. Without that, it really is. There's probably a linear relationship, for couples.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Great question. Thank you.